I'm wondering something. So I've just watched YouTube on the effects of nuclear war, and specifically about the effects of um, not atom bombs, but fusion bombs. That was it. And I am stunned at just what we have created with nuclear weapons. It is incredible the power that is within these weapons. And I find it amazing that we have created these weapons and they're primed and ready to be used by several countries around the world. It is truly incredible that we've chosen to live this way. Now, I know that it could be said that the world is actually, ironically, a safer place because of nuclear weapons. I'm wondering though how we control the launch of a nuclear weapon. I'm wondering what the procedure is to launch a weapon and how authority is given and the mechanics of it. I'm basically wondering if a technician or someone in control of the nuclear weapons could launch a weapon, or is it impossible for that to happen without a command coming from the Prime Minister or a President or whatever? I'm wondering about the control of nuclear weapons and how we ensure that they cannot be launched without an order from the President or Prime Minister. And I'm wondering what circumstances would lead to a launch anyway, because it's obvious, I would say, that the use of nuclear weapons would lead to the end of mankind, the complete destruction of the earth. There is no way to win a nuclear war. It will be destruction of both sides, everybody. The whole world would end. So I'm wondering if there could be any circumstances that lead to that. I'm wondering if the people in control of nuclear weapons are certain in the knowledge that they could not use the weapons without committing suicide in doing so. I'm wondering if there are people in control of nuclear weapons who believe that they would somehow survive if they were to launch. I'm concerned and I hope that the people in control of nuclear weapons know for a fact that they would be committing suicide in using them. I really hope that they know that. And it is very hard to commit suicide. So I'm hoping that will be a strong deterrent. It is so strange to live in a world where we are a decision away from our annihilation. But I suppose it's difficult to worry so much about death considering it will happen anyway in time. So it is strange how we're so concerned about dying in nuclear war when we will die anyway. It's not as if we would live forever otherwise. So I will think on why we worry so much about dying in a nuclear war if we would die anyway with old age. And I'm still damaged from my injury, but I'm feeling old and a little bit broken. I cannot believe the weapons that we have in place, ready to be launched very quickly, and I don't know how we control the launch of weapons. And as I say, I hope that the people who control nuclear weapons are aware that they would be committing suicide if they were to use them. And it does concern me that there are several countries that have nuclear weapons. The proliferation, I think they called it, of nuclear weapon use is very worrying. So I am wondering if humanity will survive having nuclear weapons that could be used. I don't know how to assess that. I don't know how to judge if we will survive. Or will someone launch a weapon thinking that they would win any battle? It's very strange living with the threat of war. But as I say, it's hard to judge just how worried I should be about dying in a war if I would die anyway in time. So I suppose I'm wondering, why is death in war such a big deal? And why do we worry so much about it like we would live forever otherwise? I will think on that a bit. But I'm thinking for now that maybe I shouldn't be so concerned about nuclear annihilation because it is inevitable. Death is what I'm saying. So the film I saw on nuclear weapon use was quite sobering. But I'm not worried too much. But I do realize that it's possible that someone crazy might launch a weapon. And it won't be small like Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The power of these weapons, I can't really understand how powerful they are. I don't appreciate the power. I hear explanations about buildings being destroyed and obliterated and whatever. But it doesn't make sense in my head. I can't understand the power of these weapons. And I suppose I'm worried that someone in control of nuclear weapons might be the same as me. And I wouldn't properly appreciate what nuclear weapons could do. It's so hard to understand properly. There is always a part of me that thinks that there's a nuclear weapon over there somewhere. If I just duck down and go under the table or whatever, I'll be safer. There is a part of me that believes I could shield myself somehow from a blast. I don't have a proper understanding of nuclear weapons. So I am very surprised that humanity has chosen to live this way, having nuclear weapons ready to be fired. It's so hard to understand why we can't get along to that extent, to the extent that we're willing to risk our own lives and be a decision away from death. But then I'm wondering if death is such a big deal, considering it will happen anyway. So I'm in two minds about the importance of death and the danger of nuclear weapons. It could be that I'm mistaken in the way I'm viewing things. I suppose I need to be more relaxed about the situation and say what will be will be